Everybody, Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I've just taken this Dollar Tree poker chip and glued a piece of cardstock to it and cut some lines in it to show its different plates. And then I have this piece here. I'm going to shove that down on there like so and see if it makes an indent that I can see. Does not appear to. So what I will do instead is I will take this really dull knife and I will cut around this to create the form for today's craft. Some of you are wondering, what is today's craft? Well, it's a trampoline. Okay, I'm going to get some snippers and cut off some scissors and cut off that little extra bit of fuzz there. And then I am going to try to shove this around and create a line for my center circle. And it's going to be a rough circle. It's not going to be perfect. But as with many of my crafts, if I went for perfect, we'd never get done. Now let's make sure the secret ingredient fits in there. It doesn't, so we're going to cut this skin here. So to do that, I'm just going to get scissors. And try to cut a little thin layer out to make sure that that secret ingredient fits in there. Let's try it again. And it fits. All right, let me get a little piece of foam. Something like this. And that is going to be the jump pad on my trampoline. I was hoping that would just rip. But I think if you wanted to rip, you'd need a piece of wood or something under it. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's get some cardboard. Let's try that again. We're in luck, I have other beverage caps handy. Let me get something little with a little more oomph to pound on that. Do I have a hammer handy? I know it's upstairs in the D&D room. Dang me. This is a mortar from a mortar and pestle. No, it's not gonna do what I want. So let's just get in here. We want to make sure this is about the size that a miniature can stand on it. We don't want to get out of hand. All right, where's my ring? There's my ring. Let's get a miniature. Sick. All right. Now, I guess we have to sturdy this up in some way. So I think the easiest way to do that would be to just double wall it with cardstock. And cut around again. making that a little bit sturdier. I actually had a plastic ring I was going to do this with, and I'm like, well, that plastic ring you have is pretty unique, so it's probably not good for this. So I decided not to use it. But now I'm like, man, I wish I'd used that plastic ring. All right. Now, that's how you burn yourself. So if you haven't seen me do it before, that's how it's done. Okay. And then we'll get this in here. Like that. We want it to sit kind of flush with the top. Okay. And we want it to be sturdy. So wire, paper clips, toothpicks, anything that's going to sit underneath and hide what's going on here would be good. I'm just going to use some toothpicks and kind of get a rough idea of how big those need to be. Okay. And a little bit there. Then I'm going to get another toothpick and just kind of make a cross section for it and then cut off the excess. That's going to be what makes it not fall through. So I said I had some news. I wasn't sure if I was going to, be able to share it and stuff. Saturday, I found out for sure, we haven't done the paternity test yet, but after I met him, I'm pretty sure I don't need a paternity test, but we'll get one because, everybody needs to be sure. Apparently there is a fifth Doom child. He is 18. He is amazing. I did not know. I promise you that. If I had known, I would have been in his life from day one. But for whatever reason, she chose not to tell me. I'm not really sure what that reason is. I was not a bad guy or doing anything. I wasn't like on drugs or doing any crimes. There's a lot to the story that's probably nobody's business. But the good news is, there is a fifth Doom son. When it comes to Dooms, I can't say anything but the more the merrier. Okay, that looks about right. And is that close now? Okay, it's a little tall. We'll just skim that off a little bit. And we'll get our base. Mount that trampoline. Just like that. Now, Mrs. Doom is very cool about it. It was before we were dating. We've been together, it happened 19 years ago when I came back from the war and my first wife had left when I was in Iraq. I was dating a girl. Nothing, untoward. Just, dating a girl, and we broke up. Apparently she knew and she left. And for whatever reason, was kept a secret from me. I don't want to make any fights or call her any, say she's dishonest or anything, but there was some weird stuff about the conversation I'm not real happy about, but I'm not going to make a fight. I don't know what kind of relationship this young man wants to have, and I'm not going to pressure him in any way. I let them know that if I could have been there, I would have been there. If I'd have known, I would have been right there every day. And that I would like to have a relationship. And that's the most I can really do. He's 18. I can't force him. Though my instinct tells me that that's how you exactly handle that. You know, I'm your dad. Too bad. We're fixing this now. You know, but that's just not the reality of the world we live in. And in this country, the United States, laws seem pretty one-sided to favor females in almost every situation. So, I'm just going to get a little bit of glue on there, and I'm just going to make sure everything's sturdy and not going to come apart. Okay. Okay. Now, if you didn't need a trampoline, then this is not the craft for you. But if you did need a trampoline for your futuristic or sci-fi TTRPG, this video is for you. And there's a valid question that could be asked there. Does anybody really need a trampoline for their TTRPG? Well, couldn't tell you. I don't know. But I'd like to think we all did. You know, that can of paint is... I will have to pop that and deal with that later. Later, dudes. And to paint that up, let's just grab what's left of this cardboard here. And use this for the paint job. I wouldn't worry about painting up underneath there, really. I mean, you could if you wanted to. I don't think it's particularly necessary, but we can do it. I don't know how much playtime this is going to get. We'll paint the whole thing metallic since I had the paint out. Let's get a little bit of this reddish brown. A little bit of water. Really no reason to paint any of that. Let's dry it off. In my neighborhood, all trampolines are blue. I don't think that's by some greater design. I think that's just the coincidence of it. So let me find some black paint. And we'll do the part you bounce on. Quickly. trampoline. Some days my own stupidity just astounds me. I can't remember if it was Nameless or Sweeney or who in the comments started this shit with the trampoline. But once I saw it, I'm like, I want to make a trampoline. Because I don't have one. Now this is a very, very wet metallic. So I'm going to do a base coat with this. And then I'm going to come back with another blue. Not metallic. This is not a metallic at all. It's a blue. Okay. Just want to let everybody know that Yingling Lager has yet to sponsor the channel yet, so come on guys, let's get that going. By sponsor, I'm not asking for money for making videos. I don't think these videos are that quality, but for as much as I drink them, you'd be like thinking they'd want me to not be thirsty at least, right? I think the official beverage of an old dude in his garage making garbage into garbage. Sounds like something legit, right? Who knows? Not I, said the rat. Alright, let's get a lighter blue. Looks like that color's going to be a wood blue. Nope, it's going to be... can't find a wood blue. There it is. Let's get a drink of the beverage there. Dry that off. I haven't used this in a long time. I'm sure if you found a trampoline way off in the future and it had that spring cover over it still, it'd be blue. I can pretty much breathe normally again through my nose like a human being, which is a blessing. Clear coat. I just used Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Color Matte Clear. It's pretty standard for me because it's at my local Walmart. Something like that. And our little fella can go right on there, just like that. And there's no real bounce, except for this bubbled up part of my mat there from the heat. So there it is. That's the trampoline. If you like the time I'm wasting in the shop doing silly stuff like that, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all the happy crappy that helps the channel grow. Do me a favor, check out the description down there. There'll be a link to the website, www.dungeon-swag.com. Check out amazing miniatures at an amazing price. High quality, beautiful miniatures. Just today, somebody on the Discord was saying they've had better luck with their miniatures than they have with our miniatures than they have had with bones. So if you see anything for the sturdiness of them, that's the conversation. And our Discord's there too. And there's a discount code to buy your Dungeon Swag miniatures in there also. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.